man.
36,
Listen
30.
to me. Oh, 30, you're still a young man. Just born the other day. When flush toilets, that what they call the flush toilets, people say no, cannot put that in a me house. So they used to build little houses outside and put the boss, he's getting a call. So those were
I'm
the
sorry.
those were the draw chain. So you draw the water used to be up in the tank top, and you draw a chain and gravity fed it to flush the toilet. The people never want it in their house. You know, Mark, Mr. Murray,
Yes.
when you go into homes today, bathrooms are some of the most expensive spaces in homes.
Yes.
You know,
It is.
you go
It
back
is.
going to some people bathroom now, sir. They had TV, marble tiles, TV pan wall, glass bath. And that's how they spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
When they go doing that, when they go in that bathroom toilet, go do. Don't say it.
Listen,
Yes, sir.
if I tell you this, my wife will tell you that
But
my
change,
wife.
sir, have to be managed because it is easy to learn. It is hard to unlearn. Okay, so it's not easy to unlearn things that you have learned for 30, 40 years. You see, and some things you're not born with. Who teach you to have sex, sir?
That's natural instinct, man.
Ah, don't want to. I don't know if young people are listening. So leave that alone. This Jamaica girl may not like that. Anyway, the Prime Minister, sir, is a very good communicator. Well, he has learned,
Right.
and I think he has a natural. This concept of the common man came from as late as 1946, I think. It came out of I think one of the president of the United States who spoke about for the people, from the people. I think Holness comes across as a man from the people.
Mm-hmm.
Portia used to speak about the little girl from Woodall.
Mm-hmm.
That don't discount that. Mr. Holness needs to speak more about where he come from.
The boy from Spanish Town.
Yes, sir. Because when you want to inspire people, you hear I speak about the poverty of aspirations. When you want to inspire people to aspire, you have to let them understand that I was once there. Where I am today is as a result of me maximizing some opportunities that were presented to me. But I come from among you, and as someone from among you, what my role is to lift you up. To lift you up, yes, a son of the soil from the bowels of the working class, yes, is now one of us, sir. He is the Prime Minister of Jamaica. So PJ Patterson once said that if he came down off the platform and mingled among the crowd, they would know the difference. The people would know the difference. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? Because he was identifying himself as one of the people. Holness needs to do a little bit more of that.
But never, I think that is why we find so many persons referring to him as Andrew.
Yes,
I was watching him walking in the streets, and this lady was talking to him, and she was like, Andrew, because they feel so familiar with him. It's like he's their little neighbor or them little friend from down the road.
And you notice
So
the children. You notice the children.
Oh, they love him. The children.
No, but they say they don't say Prime Minister. It's Andrew.
They say Andrew. Yes.
Yes,
Mommy, Andrew. I don't know if you saw the clip of the little boy the other day sitting on his lap and say, "Let me borrow your glasses." I thought that was so hilarious.
The Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Yes, and then he was offering Dr. Chang some of his soda. So,
the little boy.
Yeah, yes.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
So I think he does have that going for him.
Absolutely.
But he
I heard
really
somebody
needs to
say,
press on it some more, indeed.
yes, I heard somebody saying that we were having someone here talking about Andrew. I think it was Mr. Samuda.
Yes.
But that is how, and they were saying that you did not correct that.
No, I did. Well, if it was the other night, as I said, I wasn't on for majority of his presentation, but the first time he was on and did so, I did correct him.
Yes, yes. But it is not a negative necessarily that people can relate to you. You know, relatable.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's relatable. I mean, Portia was like that too. You know, it was Portia. You ever hear people
It
talk about
was.
it's
It was.
Portia? You know, Mama, and she gave herself the name Mama P.
Yes.
And she said, "Mama is here." You know, trying to play on that maternal, you know, part of her, which worked for a
It
time.
did work indeed, yes.
Yeah. So you know, yeah. Anyway, okay,
So
Mr.
I'll ask you a quick question. I'll ask you a quick question before I go.
Yes, sir.
Neighbor, do you think the real issue is in the Labour Party is the Prime Minister, or is most of the MPs' ability to connect with their constituency?
Mr. Prime Minister Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness has an aura over the Labour Party that makes him dominant. He's the face of the Labour Party. I think the people of Jamaica connects with Holness. I don't know that they connect with the Jamaica Labour Party. I think it is the era of Andrew Michael Holness. I am not a prophet. I'm not a prophet, but I'm going to whisper something to you. You're listening to me?
Yes, sir.
He's going to win the election.
For sure.
The people of Jamaica are going to give him a third term. I don't know about no fourth term, but you're still listening to me?
I listen keenly.
I think, just between me and you, I think they are going to give him a third term, and it's going to be a convincing victory. All right. Now that I have got that, you can put me back on now. The listeners can hear what I'm saying.
Yes.
All right.
This era in our politics, there are eras. You see, just like how you have generations,
right?
This era is the Holness era. The People's National Party knows it. Yeah. And the People's National Party, to their credit and discredit, have tried to chip away at the magic of Holness.
Yeah.
We don't have in our political space these type of people regularly. You know, you see Donald Trump in America is the Trump era. Can't make no mistake. Okay, then you had the Michael Manley, you had Portia Simpson, and even Bruce Golding. You had Edward Seaga for a time in the 1980s. Even Golding, there was a time when Golding was seen as the man. It's Holness now. The people of Jamaica are connecting with Andrew Michael Holness, less so with the Jamaica Labour Party. If you look at the polls, you'd notice that he's 10 points ahead of Mark Golding. In other words, if it was a presidential election, it would have been done long time. Where it becomes close is when you say, okay, which party are you going to vote for? It is closer. In other words, even PNP people would have voted for Holness.
Yeah. So I have that same feeling, and I see it too. That's where I think the MPs need to learn and pick that from, because even if they're not doing it nationally, where they are a name brand nationally.
To be fair, sir, I think the MPs have done well, and one of the reasons why I'm not going to be liked is I can't lie. Me not say me no lie, but me can't lie. on this program. We can't come here to come pretend. We can't be a hypocrite. The fact is, sir, what the Jamaica Labour Party is doing now, the PNP couldn't do it. They never had the resources to do it.
Right.
So when you see people, the PNP could not find 43 billion. It was not in the budget, sir. The debt to GDP was over 120%. They couldn't do it. The Jamaica Labour Party, sir, to their credit, have fixed some of the macroeconomic indicators, which has released to them the latitude to do a number of things. Right? And so the MPs have been benefiting from the performance of the government. Because them have Sparks Road in them constituencies, sir. The MPs that benefited from Sparks. It was this party that brought in the Constituency Development Fund. 20 million them get to spend. You see what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
Yes. So the MPs, to their credit, people like Rhoda Moy Crawford, Michelle Charles, Anne-Marie Vaz, to name just a few. Yes. Young Morgan over there in Clarendon, Dwight Sibley's. These guys have worked. Yeah. They have put in the work. And you know why them have to work too, sir? Because there are thousands of TV stations in every one of their constituencies, you know. Because everybody have a smartphone. All they need to do is to capture the potholes and the the things that are wrong and post it on social media.
Yeah.
So it's a different age. And I believe, sir, that where Holness is magic falls off, the worth of the MPs will take them home. I do not expect that many of these MPs will lose their seats in the next general election. I think they have performed well on both sides. I really expect there to be very little change after this election, because I think when you look at the performance of the I don't know much about the PNP MPs, but when you look at the 49 seats that the Labour Party has, those MPs, those members of parliament have tried. They really have. And in those cases where the MPs have not done well, you realize the party, you know, has moved to get put in stronger candidates. Yeah. Separate and apart from the cases where people are not going back like Carson. Next question, sir.
I think you have covered a broad basis, you know. Basis.
Well, that's right.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the way you spend time to elaborate on some things and let people understand, because as you say, with our programs like these, some people run with some narratives. And let me tell your neighbor, you're going to get bashed, you know. So, and I see, I like the way you deal with your bashing. You know, you look like you used to get a whole heap of beating when you're younger, but yeah, the way you deal with your bashing is very, I would say, democratic.
Yeah, you know, sir, I've learned early in my life that there is nothing called negative criticism. Right. So if you are going to be talking about criticism, say criticism. Don't say negative or positive criticism. If you criticize, then the person being criticized need to look at the criticism, and it is always positive for me. Because if you criticize me, then I must look at what you have said to determine if I should be better, if I should examine it, or I should just dismiss it as nonsense. And one other thing I have learned also is that when you respond to your critics, they feel a strength.
Right.
It is to be matched by silence.
Yeah, that's well done. Because some of the time I listen to your program and man, you beat some topic where I have to like take a breather and come back. But yes. At the end of the day, when you look at it, it's true. Like, because even the other day with as I say, we over it, but the Michelle Charles thing, I had to go back and to review the video because when I was watching the live, it was just looking like tongues and cheeks and everybody was being happy. But when I review it, I was like, yeah, somebody was a
little off, eh?
Yeah, it was exuberance took over.
Yes, and that's a nice word. That's a nice word. And you know, sir, Michelle is a young politician, and she will learn. And her father was a chief. You know, he can have a lot to teach them. There is a place for everything, you know, sir.
Yes.
And we can be statesman like and statesman like on occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you know, in my life, sir, I have other things that I do. For example, I play music here sometimes. Well, you know, it's part of this program.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play reggae music necessarily. I play it for the listeners, and I'm not impacted by it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying,
totally understand.
Great, and therefore, if you are going to be myopic, simple-minded, this is not the platform for you. And there are several. No disrespect to anyone else's platform, but scroll on and go listen to someone else. We are going to take you beyond the surface and get you to understand that you can be fair. You know, one of the things that we have to understand, sir, is that we have to be tolerant of people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be, you know, son, and their sexuality too. I do not like us introducing into the political arena people's sexuality. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Because, you know, sir, sometimes we are victims of situations and things happen to us in life.
Right.
Yes, and if we are building a nation, sir, we must not leave anyone behind. After the elections, Mr. Holness will be the Prime Minister of Jamaica. He's one Jamaica, sir.
Yes, sir.
One Jamaica. And when we done this, we don't need to fight each other and go send people up to their mother and tell them, oh, they stink. There's no place for that. And you know, I said today, and I will repeat it, that many people do not understand that the polls represent the very things that we have been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The polarizing nature of our politics that have alienated a lot of people.
Right.
Did you know, sir, that I attend undercover sometimes political meetings? There really is no place there for me, you know. I can tell, I feel awkward.
Yes, sir. I understand what you feel.
Sometimes when I leave, I am drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Just the amount of smoke that I have to smoke, drunk. You understand me? It's a difficult space to navigate. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So then we have to address some of these things. Now, there are people of all classes at these meetings, but they know why they are there. Mm-hmm. But let's say we have a large following of church people in Jamaica, and they too should be welcomed at these political meetings, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you should be able to invite out the members of your church and said, the People's National Party is having a meeting at the town square. Let's go and listen to what the leaders are saying. And them carrying on, mm-hmm. No conversation, no, just a bash people. No, sir. If we are going to see greater numbers turning out to the polls, we need to understand that the politics is too polarized.
That's true.
We have to, sir, and that is part of the problem we have. We are alienating people, and so the elections now come down to combat on the ground, the diehards.
Mm-hmm.
It is now the election of the bases. In other words, what we are going to end up with eventually is a minority government, not a government that represents the will of the people. Because you can't have a voting population of 2 million and 400 elect the government, sir. That's a minority government. That is not a government that represents the will of the people. Don't you see what I'm saying?
I understand.
And I would encourage Jamaicans, this election, go out and vote. Go, don't matter who you want to vote for.
Whatever your preferences are.
Yes, go out and vote. This is the most consequential election in our history. It has fundamental consequences going forward. And therefore, we cannot leave the process. That is why I am up here, sir. I'm not, you can't just leave it to the the transactional ones, because they'll win it. They'll buy it. They'll buy it. And we do not want to get to a place in our democracy where 300 people are going to vote.
Yeah.
Right? The rest of we sit down in our yard and we no business. We watch with TV and we say, make we listen to it on radio and listen to it on news. We need to get more people involved. We need to get more people involved. The will of the people, sir. We need the will. Jamaicans, what it is that you want to say, right? What is it that Jamaicans want to say at this point? You have a chance. Uptown, downtown, middle class, rich, poor. Go out and vote. Let us make this election one of the largest in terms of voter participation. Right?
Well, you're on the path. I know you have changed some minds and convinced some people. However,
I hope, sir. I hope so. I hope so. I should tell you that before I started this program, I used to go on a few lives, and the way I was treated over there, sometimes I couldn't believe. I couldn't believe that I was, people would check my page first before they let me up in a box to say, I wonder if I'm a Labour right. And if you ever have anything on the page, oh my God, them send you up under your mother.
And send you to go over your Labour right page. Right?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, come on.
And maybe what you were even going to say is in support of their conversation too. They don't even know. They don't know what you were going to contribute.
You talk about civility, son.
Yeah.
It's about civility. Let me ask you a question. When you go into a taxi, you take taxi or you drive?
I haven't taken a taxi.
Yes. Oh, well, you're one of those. Your prosperity I run for you. Eh? Yes. But sir, when you used to take taxi, do you question whether the driver is Labour right or PNP? Going in a car?
Well, the fastest one reach sometimes. the car itself is not even comfortable. But you
and if you're sick, and what if you're sick? What if you're sick? Your business who the doctor vote for?
Oh no.
No, sir. Come on. We must be tolerant of other people's view and opinions. That is what we are saying. You don't have to go down into the gutter because there are many Jamaicans who don't like it. They don't like it. A PNP man was here this morning. What is his name, Jamaica girl?
The PNP dog?
The PNP dog. Yes.
I keep telling him to change that name,
Yes.
Hugh Richards.
Hugh Richards. And Hugh Richards was just so fed up with his own party, right? Because him can't say to them, that is what Hugh Richards was saying, that crime is down in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
It is PNP people telling him a Labour right, and he don't like it. Him not like it. Him say before him vote for the Labour Party, him rather not vote. And that's so he go. Yeah, Labour rights feel the same thing. This is what I'm saying to Labour rights too. That you think PNP is dead out in Jamaica. No, go so. The PNP does have strength, and their people are not going to change like that. Yeah. Right? But what Mr. Man was saying, listen, man, you can't make a positive comment about the government.
That's sad. That's sad to where and it affects us internationally, and people don't even know that, because I live in America, right? I live in America, and I did during the local government election. I decided I'm gonna wear a green shirt, go to Walmart, and I met some friends there, and they weren't necessarily of the same party that I support, and I have my candidate on my shirt with his name on hat and everything, And I met, now we're good friends, but it was a guy, was a supporter of the PNP. And he said, he's coming to us, all of your work is coming apart now we're. And I'm like, bro, we're Jamaican, bro, what's up? But, I mean, we become good friends after that, but it shows how much it affects us internationally. So, a man can wear Trump's hat. A Trump supporter is going to wear Trump's hat wherever he goes. Even if he's going to Russia, that's a Trump supporter, he's going to wear Trump's hat. But if in America, if you choose to wear a hat of a political party, you have to watch your back if one of your fellow Jamaicans going to see and hurt you.
In America?
Yep.
Wow.
So,
wow. You know, we have matured a bit, though. I must tell you the truth, that over the last couple of election cycles, we have seen greater camaraderie among labor rights and comrades.
Right.
So, but we have a far way to go, sir. Anyway, it was nice talking to you, Mr. Murray.
Nice talking to you.
To support the program, you know, sir.
All right, I will.
In whatever way you can.
Most definitely.
Good.
All right, have a blessed one.
Yeah, man.
If I recall, Hugh Richards saying that even if the Prime Minister lined the street with gold, he still would not vote for him.
Yes.
So yes, I was in the comments and I was saying I agree with him, because even if my child should decide to become the comrade leader, I would have voted for my child.
Really?
No, I wouldn't, because we have opposing views. So even though I may support him as, my child, I would not vote for him.
There you go. Wow. If your child became the leader of the People's National Party, you're not voting for yourself.
No. We have
voting for yourself.
But he's still my child, and I still love him, and I would still wish him the best.
That's what people don't understand, that there are ideological differences here, that people are nurtured.
Yeah. Right, Canty Dawson? Unfortunately, I couldn't either. His father probably wouldn't vote for him either, because his father is also a labor rights supporter. So.
Talk to Inspiration. I'm getting a bite.
Hi, yes. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, I've listened the continuous bantering, I should say, on what has been coming over to the ruling Jamaican Labour Party.
Speak up a little, sir, please.
No, yeah, and I'm saying, even if you are a strong believer on the other side, I think one should give credit where credit is due. The work has been put in. You could see the work. You could see the progress. You could see what's happening. And even, yes, we need to have the opposing side, of course, and I have no problem with oppositions, but it's how they oppose. What do they oppose? I listened to the broadcast this evening on the news, and what I heard coming from Crawford, I don't know if you guys were able to hear the 7 o'clock news, and what I heard coming from some other members on the other side, it tells me that they're speaking or addressing an audience which has not yet matured. The way by which they speak.
By the way,
they have not.
I heard.
Yes.
I heard Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Saying that Mr. Mackenzie cannot pronounce the word Jamaica.
Exactly. Now, this kind of bantering has no place in our society. It's like some kind of a backward kind of a politics. I think we have grown over that. And I heard people ray. It doesn't make sense. You're not lifting the morals and the standard of your people. And I can't understand it. It makes no sense. He's going to give Favor Williams something, whatever, for not passing math or something. Oh, what kind of a nonsense is that? Is that the best you can do as an opposition? And I understand they have some gimmickry.
Mr. Crawford, when he emerged on the political scene won my admiration. As a matter of fact, he gave us presentation in the Senate about interdependent citizens, and I listened to his presentation, and I was very impressed. But in recent times, Mr. Crawford is not a man to be taken seriously.
True.
I think Mr. Crawford has lost a lot of support because I don't think he thinks before he speaks. I think he really is comedic.
Very comedic.
I think he really wants people to be happy. But sir, if you are going to be taken seriously, you're really gonna have to. I mean,
you have to change the narrative.
Disappointing.
Yes, as I listen to his bantering, it reminds me of the nursery rhyme that our our colonizers had us recite while we're in school. A diggle diggle, the cow jumps over the moon. And you look through the entire narrative and you look at how could a cow jump over? What place does this have? What sense does it make? And at one time, a Damien Crawford had
you don't embarrass the minister of local government like that.
That's
you
right.
Don't do that.
That's right.
Because we all struggle sometimes with the language, We all
whether or not. Whether or not we struggle with the language, the bottom line is this has no place, and it tells me the audience he's addressing.
But sir, this is the same point we are making. Mr. Mackenzie is a colleague of Mr. Crawford.
Yes.
Right? They sit in parliament together. He's a senator. Mr. Mackenzie is a minister of government. Right. You don't talk about a minister of government can't call a word, sir. You don't do that.
That's right. No. That is just outright rude. And
even it was so, right? That is not something to laugh about and to be sure. It's why a lot of people don't bother. It's why a lot of people don't even bother with the politics, sir. It's too
exactly
crass.
Petty, and it's just like it has some people who are not critical thinkers, who are not able to think and able to articulate their information.
It's further dividing the people.
Exactly.
What do you think Mr. Mackenzie's supporters are? How do you think they are going to respond? They're going to take it lying down?
No. Yesterday I was on a live and I heard one guy was saying that if the claim that the opposition leader brought on the JLP for hiring Dennis Chang, it gave them 78 hours in which to rescind that. And and what's their interpretation of it? Oh, this guy looked like they want to bring on some kind of a unrest, and we're ready to fight to defend our country. I had to say in the chat, I said, we're not going back there. This is 1980. We're not going back there. We've long past that. And this is how they have somehow think of what the opposition leader was trying or purporting to do. And they're saying, we're here to defend our leader. And if they're bringing war, we're going to war.
This is the old style politics.
Very old style.
This is the old style politics.
They tell me that they have not matured. They have not matured.
They have not matured.
Have not matured.
They said the same thing about the whole Portmore Parish argument too. I recall there was an interview where a lady said basically that she was ready to die for the cause, which I think is so ridiculous.
I'm telling you, it's just one of those things where I say all the time, when you really look at it, if the nation and the people are really in tune with what's going on, and they decide to have a more what could I say, a more intellectual or intelligent approach to the politics, it starts with the politicians, guiding the people.
And you know, inspiration. More and more
Yes.
people have been turned off from this type of politics. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Definitely.
You see, we continue to speak to the diehards. My
Yes.
friend on the People's National Party, you cannot win the election belittling people. You're not going to win.
No.
Right? Because while these cliches may appeal to the diehards, they turn off independent voters.
Yes.
People don't like it.
They do.
And you know, let me tell you something, inspiration. Enough of we in a Jamaica. Right? We come from poor families. We struggle to reach where we are in society. We don't like people with disrespect. We like that, you know.
No.
Because if you should have heard Mr. Mackenzie's story, it should be commended that Desmond is now the minister, one of the best mayor we have had in Jamaica.
Yes.
Desmond,
But
Desmond,
neighbor, it's the same thing with Andrew Holness, who was once a ghetto youth in a 2-bedroom board house, who became prime minister.
yes, Desmond revolutionized the whole concept of mayor. Before Desmond Mackenzie, we not even know who a mayor was.
Right.
Right? And he grew up, you know, and became minister of local government, sir.
And has done a phenomenal job.
That is something to
Yes.
praise. Don't belittle the man.
Exactly. Exactly. Where we've come from humble beginnings and we have risen
You know,
to the level.
I'm gonna tell you something. Inspiration.
Yes.
Darrell Vaz, in my view, is one of the better performing ministers of government.
One of the?
One of the better performing ministers of government.
Yes. He shines wherever
he
he's
is.
placed.
You know what?
Wherever he's
Darrell
placed,
Vaz
he
education-
shines.
You know what Darrell Vaz education is, sir?
Yes.
Go and check it out. He doesn't have a PhD. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Just check it out for me. You listeners out there, check it out.
And I tell you something.
And yet,
Yes.
sir, he remains a performer anywhere he said.
Anywhere he's sent, he
To
performs.
the point where I think right now he's the best performing minister. of
Mhm.
government.
I want to
Yes,
say so
yes,
too.
he is.
I would want to say so too.
Boss.
Vaz gets things done.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Mr. Mackenzie. So Mr. Crawford, when you go talk about the man can't call Jamaica, that no have nothing to do with his performance.
I've never seen.
Are your background so noisy, sir?
Oh, yes. 1 second. 1 second.
You're in Jamaica?
Let me just get. No, I'm not. I'm visiting some people that are having some noise.
In
1
Canada?
second. Yes.
Oh, that's
I'm
the music
visiting
they're playing in Canada? Wow.
Yes.
I thought he was
Who's
at
playing the music?
a
Wait. Hello, baby. Turn the music down. Whoever have that music.
You can imagine
Yes. Yeah. Oh yes. Believe me. The culture never dies. You know. The culture never dies. Culture never
Yes.
dies. Culture never dies. Everywhere you go, it's there. It's there. You know, I was in Ghana in Africa, and I didn't see anyone smoke. I was amazed, and I traversed the various parts of the country. I said, "People doesn't smoke here," and they said, "Yes, they do." But I went to the crafts market before I left to get some stuff there from the crafts market. And when I went there, I saw some guys beating a drum, and they were all dreadlocks. And when I told them where I was from, they said, "Whoa, Bob Marley." And that was the only place I smelled marijuana at the crafts market. They all were smoking marijuana down there. And if you see all the Jamaican different crafts, you think you're in Jamaica. They were so happy to see us that they were teaching us how to play the drums. And I realized the kind of brand name Jamaica was when I traveled to Africa. And I tell anybody, they didn't want to see any other passport but the Jamaican passport. When you get inside there, they let you in as though you're just a local citizen. If you take any other passport, they penalize you. You got to go through the ringer. And I realize the kind of a culture and the kind of country we have, which we ought to be proud. You don't see it until you travel outside of Jamaica. You realize the brand that Jamaica is. And it's why I have so purpose in my heart that I want to come back home and I want to enjoy the country. I mean, being here for so long, I want to come back and enjoy the country. And we want to see our democracy mature. We want to see the people living in a more secured environment. We've seen crimes down. And I don't know who wouldn't applaud this fine job that is being done by the current administration. I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know what their expectations are. And I just think that some people are out like, whether they are malicious or just terrible or just evil, I could say, as they wouldn't give the acknowledgement. I listen to the opposition, for example, go and St. Thomas, which is a forgotten parish. They had an opening there, and it's a so-called center. You know, if this guy has any inclinations to run the nation, shouldn't he be careful and tread softly on what he says now and who he's going to represent when he gets to that point? If the people are paying attention, and I show you where the education and the education of the nation is. We just had an election in Canada. I'm going to show you something here. Just an election in Canada. The party that currently was in office, the incumbent, they've retained office. But guess what? They would have lost the election because the leader wasn't popular among the people. But guess what? While the opposition was saying a lot of things, the opposition was doing a lot of mudslinging and did not have a manifesto to tell the people how he's going to move the country forward. So watch this. The people listened to him. He was way up in the polls. They said, okay, you have done all your mudslinging. What now? What do you have to do to change the trajectory of the country? He could not present himself as someone ready. The people weren't hearing what they want to hear. And so they voted that he lost his seat. Would you believe it? Could you believe an opposition leader in Jamaica losing his seat? It happens here in Canada. The leader who was leading by at one point,
over 20 points.
Was leading by over 20 to 30 points. And how could you lead before the election, and the election is called, and you lost your own seat, and you lost big time? It tells you where the education and how the people are thinking. The electorate are saying, yes, we're not about mudslinging. What else can you do? And I'm saying this to the current administration in Jamaica. They are going about their business, and Andrew Holness is performing. He's not paying attention. He's not taking them on. He's performing, and his work will stand out for itself. Will the people see it and send a message to the opposition? Because until now, they have not yet declared how they're going to make the country better than what they're enjoying right now. And that's my message to those who are seeking to vote.
This is likely to happen in Jamaica too? Because what you have described, we are having some similar things in Jamaica. Because to be frank, I don't know that we are clear in terms of the alternatives from the opposition at this point.
Right.
How you think it's going to play out here?
You know what? I was hoping that the same results would have happened there, like what has happened here. But my thing is, I was listening to the Blue Dot polls yesterday on Nationwide, and I'm hearing some numbers, and they seem too close to comfort. Certain constituencies, they were saying it just need like about maybe 500 to flip to the other side. And I'm saying, if those numbers are right, it shouldn't even be that close. Given the performance, the best performing prime minister the country has ever seen. I'm wondering, what is it that the people are listening to? What is it they're feeling or not feeling? What else can the current administration do? How best can they bring the message and the services that this government does provide to the average person? Because obviously, if the numbers look this close, there might be a disconnect somewhere. That is my thing. Now, understand this. The kind of politics that Jamaica practices is a politics where the politicians have to be up and close and personal to the citizenry. In Canada, it's the reverse. You don't even have to know your MP, but you know the performance of your government, and the people will vote based on policies. In Jamaica, the people will vote because I could see my MP coming at every wake when there's one in my community. I'll see my MP giving me building materials when there are a need for natural disasters and stuff like that. I could the politicians in Jamaica have to so romanticize their constituency to be considered. Here, it's whatever policies, social policies that affects the individual and their communities and stuff, and thus their vote. So this is what I'm saying. If that is the kind of politics that is being practiced there, it means therefore some of the politicians may have to leave their quiet abode and get out on the streets to be start seeing and heard and start to help, because that's the kind of politics that the people will listen to or will.
By the way,
yes.
Inspiration, to take you
Yes.
back to Mr. Crawford. Did
Yes.
he not make some statements about Anne-Marie Vaz when he was running against her?
Yes, he did.
Uh-huh.
He did. And see where it landed him?
And where it landed him, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, neighbor,
and you
the
know,
other day I
probably,
heard
probably if he never made those statements, he probably would have won.
he could have. He probably would have. Probably would have. But the other thing is, I heard you said something the other day, which was very, very telling or very, very interesting. And I hope that the leaders and these people would listen to programs like these and could fine-tune some of their approach, their messages to fit their constituency. And you said when there's a rally or a big event or a campaigning,
Yes.
get the people from the RNTA and these agencies. Why? And I agree with you 100%. You know why? We don't have a society that knows how to access information. We have a society where you have to hold their hands. We have a society that feeds off hearsay, big time. And because you want to dismiss any kind of misinformation and disinformation, you may have to use some of these agencies to come at these events, and they will there to help those who attend to get some of the information and the help they might need to get someone registered into a hard program.
When we have these mass rallies,
Yes,
PNP and
Yes.
JLP mass rallies, set up
yes,
booth. Card should go
Yes.
there and set up booth and register
I
them
believe
to,
so.
to go to school.
Exactly.
Yes.
100%
Register them.
agree, your neighbor.
So by the time, tell the people in the audience, before every one of you leave here, make sure you sign up for her.
That's right.
Right? Sign up for the National Health Fund card. Sign up for
Exactly.
National Insurance. NHT is over
Exactly.
there, so go apply for your house. You know, I hear some
Exactly.
people up
Bring
there
these
talking
people
today-
in.
Today about,
Yes.
about benefits under NHT for minimum wage workers.
Right.
Yes, may the NHT come there, sir, and tell them, say the NHT booth is over there, so go and apply for the house.
I'm telling you.
Right? The National Youth Service is over there, so go and check out jobs.
You know what?
Rather than give them 2 pieces of chicken.
What I saw was this, neighbor, was this. If these agencies would find themselves, or the government or whoever it is, would allow these agencies to come, this is a way by which those who probably don't listen to news, who probably don't read the print media, if there is such, or see their information online, it will be an outlet for them that they can access these information and can act upon it. Because there were and there have been situations where programs are being introduced to the nation and half the people don't know it. I'm gonna tell you a story I listened to the other night. I'm on all kinds of live with PMP. They run me off the live all the time. They run me off the live with the PMP. There's a guy called Caution, knows nothing. Like he was just born yesterday, and I could just smell the Similac formula coming off his breath. That's how young he is. But he's leading his campaign. And I tell you this, what I saw and I heard, I was on a live there. And did you know the Jamaica Labour Party has introduced what is called a unemployment insurance? Listen to this.
Yes.
This information has gone way over the people's head. In Canada, in the US, Great Britain, other parts of the Caribbean, and all these developing countries or developed countries. If you are working, there is a deduction that is taken from your gross salary every month. In the event that you're out of work for layoff, termination, whatever the story is, disaster, your business is closed down, buildings closed down, you could apply now to the government and access that fund that has been deducted every month. And you could get that stipend and help you to pay some bills, eat some food until you could get employment elsewhere for a period of time. I think this was a wonderful initiative. No other government has brought this onto the nation. A Andrew Holness-led government has brought this here. And I could hear a guy on the live saying, this is not good. They're forcing you and they want to bully you into paying into this program that they benefit themselves. And they're taking taxpayers' money to enrich themselves. I said, what could this be? How could people so dumb? Misinformation, disinformation. That's what the guy's been permeating on and he had a wide audience telling them that the JLP is wicked and they shouldn't listen to them. You get an insurance stipend and it's not good for you? I couldn't understand that. That's ignorance 101.
I call it done. But before we go any further, right? We only have 9,000 paid taps. Can we get some more taps, please, guys? And if you have a money gun in the chat, you can send it. Or if you have any tiger, lion, or bear, anything you want, that's on the live, you just send it. Without this do, tap the screen, share the live, please.
You know, I have some problems with that. I register my stuff online, and then I don't know what it's keep telling me that I need to recharge. So I don't really understand the process, and I'm trying to recharge it, but it's asking me for passwords and all kinds of things. So I'm not able to send what I'd want to send. That's what he keeps asking, and I'm not so understanding it, honestly.
So it's a Friday night and we're hanging out with you, eh?
Happy feelings with me.
Saturday night.
Now that I have found.
All right. Tell me what's happening in Philippians.
It's a Saturday night. Neighbor, you know we have agriculture pension right now, right?
No, I
Well,
didn't know that.
Floyd Green announced it in his sectoral presentation.
It's
Agriculture
not Friday night.
pension.
Did I say Friday night?
Yes, it's Saturday night. Yes.
Oh my goodness, I'm a day behind, huh?
I wouldn't mind if we could go back.
Alorin, Alisa, how are you doing? Yeah, I said I would have been on until 9 o'clock. It's 7 minutes after.
Okay, so you're closing off now?
Yes, we are going to you talk about church. You're going to church tomorrow?
Oh no, I would have gone today.
Oh, you're an Adventist.
Bad Ventis.
Bad Adventist?
Yes.
I don't know what that means.
It's the opposite of an Adventist. An Adventist is no longer an Adventist. Well, not no longer,
Help me
but
to understand,
technically not
please.
going to church. Not going
Help
to
me to
church
understand.
right now.
Huh?
Not going to church. Not going to church. But
Oh,
I try to keep
why are you
the
not going to church?
Sabbath. I keep the Sabbath. I do not wash or do any domesticated things on the Sabbath. I rather just stay home, and then on a Sunday I'll do all the housework.
Oh, so you just stayed
Yeah.
home today and you didn't take any calls?
I did go. I went on the road twice. Don't take any calls. I've been online all day. Okay.
Oh, so when are you planning to return to church?
I don't know. You know, I worship. I turned my live on the other day, and I was playing gospel music. I played soul song, and I was singing, and I did mention that, and I've always said this, that one of the way that I try and get closer to God is through gospel music and singing and worshiping.
Yes, and I heard you singing.
That feels so good.
You have a very beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
well,
so
your favorite TikToker is a bad Ventis. what it is that is what it is that has drawn you away from the church?
It's too strict.
To what? Strict?
Strict, yeah.
Strict in terms of what?
Oh God, the things you have to do, like I couldn't take the restriction, man. I couldn't take the restrictions. Like,
what it is that you are doing now that you couldn't do while you were going to church?
Oh, you can't. Oh, you can't participate in certain activities unless you are married.
What activities are those?
And I cannot say those things here.
No. What do you mean you can't say those things, sir? You are suggesting that you can't have sex? Is sex you're talking about? Sexual intercourse?
Huh?
You're speaking about sexual intercourse?
Jesus, Emmanuel, you're so vulgar. You're so vulgar, though. Anyway,
no man, talk to me. Don't watch the
yeah,
the
I can't. I can't.
Let me ask you a question. Why is this? Why is there an uncomfortableness to speak about?
No, I am not uncomfortable in private.
Okay.
Yeah, that reaction though.
My goodness, look how she's just blushing away there. Please. Give her a little.
You're right.
My new lover, my new friend.
My God, I got flippy and so let out her secret. Oh boy, I tell you, what's that?
Yesterday I was so lost, but today.
But stay in church, people. Stay in church and
So
stay in school. Yeah.
Philippians,
Yes.
the Bible says that
Yes.
what would it profit if a man
Yes, I
gains the
know.
world,
Yes.
gains the world,
Yes.
and loses his soul?
Yeah.
So what is the value of a soul that the Bible says it is worth more than
God
the
still love me.
hold on,
God
no.
still love
Let's
me.
let's hold on. Let's see if we can put a value on the world. The value of the world. It's an innumerable
And it's
number.
not just sex, you know. It
No,
was the
don't
restriction.
leave the sex. Leave the sex.
Hold on, let me go back.
Taking you
Let me
somewhere.
go back.
I'm taking you somewhere. Just
It
hold
was
on.
the restriction. Like you'd have to stop watching TV when as soon as sunset on a Friday, and the day was so boring on a Saturday, and you go through that for years and years, and you just don't. It just become uncomfortable.
Understand. But let me ask
Yes.
you. Wouldn't you
As a crush on who though?
wouldn't you like to get married?
Oh, I don't know. It's not a big deal for me, really.
It's not a big deal for you.
If it happens, it happens, you know.
I see.
Yeah.
But
It's
then
not something I sit and think about.
there is no restriction to having sex.
It's not all about that, neighbor.
Yeah, but
As
I'm
it
never
relates
saying
to
to you
leaving the
that
church.
what you do is that you are dating
I'm
someone.
engaged to this man. I didn't know. You should have invited me to the engagement party, though.
Why are you responding to the comments in the all right?
They entertain me all the time. That's why. And I love to be entertained.
All right, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I will be heading out to church tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep, I'll be speaking about the power of prayer.
What is that? What power?
Prayer,
Prayer. Okay.
yes, and I'll be showing that persistent prayer produces powerful results.
Okay.
Right. You remember that story of the Shunammite woman who lost
You know,
her
I
son?
went to theological seminary.
You did.
Yes, but I didn't study theology,
What you studied?
social work. But I did a lot of Bible courses. I did reading the literature, reading the Bible as literature. I love that course. I loved learning about the Bible and the different books of the Bible. It's always so exciting to learn about the Bible. I
Let me
love it.
leave with my listeners. My listeners, let me leave with you something from that story that I think is really, really interesting. That here was a widow woman who lost her son. Her son is dead. And you want to learn from that how to approach crises in your life. It's a powerful story. The woman's son is dead. She does not start to cry. She does not get into mourning. Her mind switches to a solution. Think about it. Her pursuit of the profit is because of the state of her mind. Because when you are in a crisis, if you get all worked up about it, you are not able to think solution. So if there's a fire in the house, you can't find the key because you're nervous. You lose your sense of control over your sense of control. And this is the one of the lessons from that story is that when you find yourself in a difficult place in life, don't get overwhelmed by the situation. Because if you get overwhelmed by the situation, you are not able to see the solution. Many of us, when we find ourselves in crises, falls into depression. We allow it to stress us out. In Pastor Young, the woman pursues a solution. And when they asked her, is it well with your husband? She said, yes. Is it well with your son? She said, yes, it is well. The boy is dead. She just left him at home. How many mothers in Jamaica would have responded like that? But can I say something to the mothers listening to me? Your son may be very much alive physically, and your daughter, but they're dead, because they are not performing at the place where you ought, or where you have grown them to be. And you can take the same attitude that this woman took to pursue a prophetic, powerful solution. And I want you to note the prophet's response. He stretched himself upon the boy. It's not going to be easy to bring back dead people, I'm not speaking about the physical dead here, no. That's not going to be easy. He stretched himself upon the boy. But we'll talk to you about that some other time. I want you to see the woman's attitude in a crisis. If you are facing a crisis, do not let the crisis overwhelm you, because you are not going to be able to see the solution or to find the strength to pursue the solution. You have to manage your emotions in a crisis. You can cry after, but you have to solve this problem. When you have a problem, it is a problem to be solved. Yes, and the solution begins with the attitude that you take. Many times, or many of us, if someone dies in our homes, we start to cry, we start to mourn, we start to tear down the place. Not this woman. Her son is dead. Not even her husband, she not tells him dead. Is it well with the boy? Yes, it is. Because her mind switches to a solution. And that solution comes through faith. In other words, faith in God does not accept defeat. Faith in God never accepts defeat. And that is why, for the believer, you don't write them off, because they may be down, but not out. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I don't fear no evil, for thou art with me. If God is for you, you never accept defeat. There's no defeat. Even dead boys can be brought back to life for those who believe. It is to the extent that you believe that things become possible. For faith makes things possible. Amen.
Amen.
Well, Philippians, you were the one that caused this by talking about sex.
No, it's not about that.
No, but if you
Only.
never
I
said that,
told
I would
you.
get a chance to encourage the
Well,
listeners.
it's not about me. Yeah, you just
All
inform
right.
me.
Well,
Yeah.
listeners, I'm going to make this a regular practice to give you a little devotions. All right, a little devotion.
Okay.
Anyway, that's part of what we will be talking about tomorrow. The power of persistent prayer.
Oh,
So
sermon
we have,
tomorrow.
yes.
You're a pastor. You're a pastor of a church.
Same like how you never want to talk about your business. Leave mine.
All right, I will. I will.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Nice talking to you.
Okay.
When you are in Kingston on a Sunday, I'll the story of Enoch neighbor. All right, let me end with that. Denton, since as you want more word. If you walk with God,
You see that? You see, if you never stay this time, oh my God, thank you, Miss K, for the money gun.
Miss K,
Continue, neighbor.
Miss K sending you money gone.
No, it's sent to you.
Okay, so the text says Enoch walked with God. Is that possible? First of all, to walk with God, because God is a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it's allegorical. Now we have to look at what does it mean to walk with God, because God no walk. God is a spirit. To walk with God is to walk by the precepts of God, by the principles of God. And that is what Enoch did. His life was dedicated to the principles of the word. And what happened to Enoch? The text says God took him, which means that if you walk by the principles of God, you'll live forever.
Yeah.
All right, sir? Because to walk with God is to walk to God.
Mm-hmm.
They that walk with God walks with God. There is a subtle mystery there. Do not miss it. They that walk with God walks with God. In other words, the walk continues. It never stops. You got that, sir? That is your thing for tonight. Great. Yeah. And I tell you this. That man Enoch is there are only two people in the Bible that never saw death, and Enoch is one of them. You know who the other is, Denton? Tell me who the other one is. Asking Denton. Yeah, you get it there, man. You get it. But you was a Bible
Elijah.
man.
Somebody says Elijah.
I should be a Seventh-day Adventist, sir. Wow. I am a Seventh-day Adventist.
Somebody says Elijah.
Experience death. But may I say the experience of Enoch and Elijah is the experience of every saint. For Jesus never speaks of death. For to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So there is no death for the saint. It's not even spiritually, correct to speak of death, because death, I'm coming, is speaks more of separation from God. Saints do not separate from God. They transition. Yeah? Paul speaks of to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. And the way we view death makes death even more mysterious. But it is no mystery, because we see death as the end. But death is not the end. That is why we get into mourning and we are crying and we are so sad. Well, why?
But you know, we do the reverse, you know. The Bible says you must celebrate when somebody dies, and you must cry when somebody born, but we do the reverse.
Right. So
But
I
never
don't
you sound like a man of the word, man.
a man of the word.
Because in fact, all of us are Adventists. All who say they are Christians should be looking, watching, waiting for the second return of Jesus Christ, which makes you an Adventist.
Correct.
You're looking out for the second advent of Jesus Christ. So all
There you go.
Christians are Adventists. They don't know it, but they are.
Yes. So let me just say this now. When Jesus arrived at the tomb of Lazarus, and he was telling this to the disciples, you know, he just said Lazarus was dead because the language was not being understood by the disciples. So he, you know, I think there's a big word here which may confuse you. Speaking after the language of men. So when he went to the tomb of Lazarus, he said, I am the resurrection and the life. Now, who is that speaking at the tomb of Lazarus? It is God. And he says, oh, he that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And he that liveth and believeth in me shall
never
die. So what it is that happens to the person then when the breath leaves the body? It is not death. That person has not died. Because if it were so, Jesus' words would have been of no effect. Jesus says, if you believe in me, you shall not die. So what then happens to the individual? They
go back to God, and the body go back to the earth.
Yes, sir. Because God is a spirit.
And it ceases to exist.
Yes, God is a spirit. And when he formed man out of the dust of the ground, he infused or breathed into him life.
A man became a living soul.
The breath of life. And the man became. Now that word became is an eternal word. It doesn't reverse. It can't be reversed. So God does not initiate and then stops. For whatever he initiates is eternal. Whatever God initiates become eternal. So the man really is an eternal being. Yes, the man became a living soul. So the man does not really experience death. We could, just for reasons of teaching, say the man transitions into a new world. What that world is remains a mystery.
So then I go to heaven. That's what Pentecostal teach. Then I go to heaven and looking down on us.
As I said to you, we don't want to confuse the listeners too much. That remains a mystery.
Philippian, I never know you were one of my sister, man.
Look how
Philippian,
you're making good friends
I
here.
mentioned in my prayer, you know, that you come back to the fold.
Yes.
Because let me tell you,
What did you
in Pentecostal church, you know.
Huh? What did you say?
I say I never know you were one of my sisters. And I will be making sure to mention you in my prayers that you come back to the fold.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
Emmanuel. So the reason why life becomes meaningless for many is they do not understand who they are. Any day you discover who you are, you raise yourself out of the dust. Now, there are many individuals who remain in the dust, in the dirt, in the created state, without the imbued life of God. It is the life of God that raises you up from the state that you are in, whatever the state is, and gives you value. The challenge with the world, you see, is that many people have lost The dignity of humanity. It is in the ground. And when it is in the ground, that's why people live like that. You men that are going over to back road. That's why. And, you know, without being discriminatory, pumping down alcohol in your body. It's below your dignity. You are living below the dignity of your life. And any day you realize who you are, you stop those things. Get married, Philippians. Because you understand that you are connected to God. And if you understand that you are connected to God, the very life of God is flowing in you and through you. Then how can you live like that? Nope. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I'm just here listening to you, and I say I have to jump in when I hear my sister. You know, but I like discussing the Bible and getting into biblical truths. And you're saying some strong reasoning there, which is good. But I've always perceived you to be a Christian-like-minded man, you know. I don't know which faith it is, but I listen to you and I see that, you know. But
yes,
you know, I've heard a lot of persons, and over my time, I've come across a lot of persons like Philippians who have left the Adventist church because he's too strict and it too this and it too that. But you know, what can I do? All I can do is pray for them. I grew up Pentecostal. The first time I go into an Adventist church, I hear the man speaking some things, and I say, wait. And I went back the second night. It was a crusade, and I bring my Bible to see if what he's saying really in the Bible. And I haven't stopped since. And by the grace of God, I'm not going to stop. But I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, the Adventist church, solid and biblical truths, man. I'm not going to say they're perfect. They are not perfect, just like you have other people in other denominations who will do whatever, and they are not perfect. The same thing with Adventist church, but when it comes on to biblical truths, there's no doubt in my mind. Just like how when it comes on to Jamaica Labour Party, between them and the people.
You are an Adventist, sir?
Yes, man. I want to talk about, man.
And you vote.
Of course. What do you mean?
But I understand that the Adventists don't vote. They don't participate in elections.
It's not true. And a lot of these things are rumors. They say Adventists not go other people church, Adventists not vote, and all these things. But a lot of people running along with hearsay.
Oh, it's hearsay, yeah.
And rumbar talk when they hear a rumbar.
Is it Jehovah's Witnesses?
Let me tell you something, neighbor. When you read the Bible, you don't see no indication in the Bible where God is anti-government.
Quite true.
No matter of fact, in Timothy, he asks you to pray for kings, pray for elders, and pray for those who are in charge.
Not only that, sir, but when you look at the doctrine of the sovereignty of God, which if my listeners are up to it, I can do something on that at another time.
Let me show you something. Before you go, let me show you something.
Hold on. When you look at the sovereignty of God, you would have to understand that all governments are in place by the will of God.
Yes, the Bible actually says it, and it said they don't bear the sword for the rulers don't bear the sword for nothing.
Right, and therefore the will of, that there's a false quote which has a little truth that the will of the people becomes the will of God. Not so in all cases, but because God is sovereign, it is God that establishes the governments that we have.
Yes.
You may not want to say it, but wholeness.
The Bible says he set up kings and he break them down also.
Yes, wholeness is a chosen vessel from the Almighty God. You know, so he's not there outside of the will of God. and
No.
so is the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin.
Hmm.
So if God is a sovereign, then it is he, because remember, the government is on his shoulder. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
The government,
You're right.
for his name, wonderful counselor, the government shall be upon his shoulder. He's in charge of things here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You
more,
you see Christians going out there preaching propaganda,
yeah,
protesting, preaching anti-government. All
right.
those things are non-biblical. The only time a true Christian is supposed to go against any government is when that government wants you to go against the word of God.
There you go,
Anything
sir.
other than that, you pray and trust God to work it out.
Yes, you're perfectly
understand?
correct.
Good night, neighbors. Good night. You touch on a point there where say our government were appointed by God, but what is now to show you how it is real? All these kings that came to rule Israel, and then there was a split. He knew what they would have done, He knew that they were evil. He knew what was in their heart, but it was just the will to allow them to make that decision, give them a chance to see if they would change. Because he knew they would have gone rogue. He knew that all these kings of Israel would have gone rogue.
You said understand? He said they have not rejected you, David. It's me they reject.
Yes, so when you look at it, but Emmanuel, here how I view the church.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever denomination you are, I believe you should live holy. That is how I see it. It doesn't matter where you are and what you do. The main factor of it is that you must live holy. Nothing else really matters.
Excuse me. I'm jumping off now.
Good. Go right.
I feel
have a good night.
Yeah, man, big up. Respect. Yeah, man. You understand me? Neighbor.
Yes.
Living holy is the key to life. Living holy and showing that goodwill of life, helping who you can.
Listen to me, sir. Listen to me, because I have to jump off. The first commandment is that we must love God.
Yes.
The second is we must love our neighbor.
Yes.
You notice that the program is called Hello Neighbor.
Yes.
But you see, when you look at the commandments,
hold on.
The first
commandment is love the Lord thy God. The second, sir, is you are to love your neighbor as yourself.
Yes.
Have you ever known a man who hate themselves, sir?
No, sir. No.
No, how much are you to love your neighbor? Not as much as you love your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much as you love your daughter or your son.
Or your mother or your father.
You love yourself.
Yes.
Do you love your wife more than you love yourself, sir? How many men can say?
No, I'm gonna tell you that I know. It's not that's enough. It's impossible to. It's not what it is.
Yes,
and
sir.
I love my wife. I love my wife.
Because what we do not understand is that it is to the extent that your neighbor survives that you survive.
Yes.
Because human life, sir, is interconnected. You are left alone on this planet. Kill yourself.
Yeah, but
yes, sir.
You have, as you are saying, right? That's why the Bible says the greatest commandment is love. Because the whole 10 commandments is uncovered or encapsulated in love. By love. Right? So if you love your neighbor, you would not steal from him, you would not take his wife, you wouldn't do none of these things.
And there would be no murder, there would be no rape.
Right.
Yes.
There would be peace all over. There would be peace all over the world. Yes. There would be peace all over the world.
You're not going to worship other gods. You're not going to do all these things where they come out.
Do you understand there, sir, that the fact that we hate our neighbor means that we don't love God?
Exactly.
Yes.
Because they say, how can you love God who you can't see? Or you can't love your neighbor where you can see?
You have never seen.
Yes.
Yet you hate your neighbor who you see. You know, say no. And therefore, religion really, sir. We need to examine what we call religion and to the extent that it is serving us. Because a lot of people who you see jump up tomorrow and go to church, they go to their yard, stand at their yard.
No, it is true, neighbor. It is true.
Listen,
we're not going to blast people.
Put down them Bibles, sir, because me I tell you the truth.
It is true. It is true, neighbor.
You have to worship God. And oh, praise the Lord, amen, hallelujah, and you're shouting at the church. And you pass, the same people, them drive past people going to church and they wouldn't pick them up.
I always say that, neighbor. I always say that. Wouldn't give you a drive and then no say I see them church are coming. Them know, first thing them pull up the car are books and shoes. Then when them pull up the car are books and shoes. So then say see them pull up. No, neighbor, I think I joke. Yes, neighbor. I tell you.
You know,
right.
Yes.
Yes. Right?
Yes. It is facts. It is facts. Whether you like it or not, it is facts.
No, but how can we say that we love God who we have never seen?
Yes.
But you hate your neighbor, and tomorrow morning you're going to jump up in a shout hallelujah. Spirits up.
I will take it even a little further.
Hypocrites, sir.
Yes. But he told you, he spoke of them. He spoke of them, Emmanuel.
You know what?
Let me take this a little further.
Jesus was even more severe. He said they were whitewashed sepulchre.
Neighbor, good night.
Yes,
Neighbor.
sir.
Had to jump on for that one, because
Let me just say something.
Let Jamaica girl say something now. I mean, I leave now.
I am an Adventist as well, and what was said a while ago is exactly why I no longer go to church. I still consider myself an Adventist. Yes. I still observe the Sabbath, but I do not go to the church for the exact thing that you just said. I've been carrying people if they need a ride. If we're going on outreach, I carry somebody. My car stopped working. And after weeks, the car, we don't see your church how long. I said, my car isn't working. Oh, well, I hope it sort out soon. And that was it.
Oh my.
That was not one day did anybody say to me, let me try and arrange a ride to pick you up. And these, and the 7-day Adventist car park full from top to bottom, everywhere.
Let me tell you something, right?
It was a gradual thing, but that was the straw that brought the camel back for me, because I realized that these people really do not love their neighbor. And I said, I cannot stay in this environment.
They don't love God.
And continue to worship with them.
Then they don't love God.
That's exactly how I felt, and that's why I stopped going.
You see me? Since I joined church in general, and even the Seventh-day Adventist Church, there is nobody in the Seventh-day Adventist Church can do for me to stop going to church. I might stop going to that branch, but there's nothing they can do to stop me, because guess what? I know why I go in church. Not because of them, or because whatever they do, but I know people different, but this is just me. And you see, the Bible says, unless your righteousness exceed those of the scribes and Pharisees,
yes, sir,
you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yes.
You know how your righteousness exceed those of the scribes and Pharisees?
Yes, sir.
In plain language is when you go above and behind. You see me going the same direction you're going, and you stop give me a ride, you're not doing nothing yet. Until you go the opposite direction to drop me first. That's when you're right. When you go above and beyond.
Look at the demonstrative story of the Good Samaritan, sir.
Yes.
Here you see.
That's a perfect example.
Here you see it, sir. And one of those men were a priest and the other a Levite. You know, the Levite is the man's brethren. Is his brother, you know. His brother. And you know, if I may end here tonight, that if you really want to know if people are genuine, no have nothing to give them.
No, I mean, we are not neighbor. No, have nothing to give them one time. No,
yes,
neighbor say,
sometimes you must just play a broke. Play like you broke.
Yes. And then you will see the real truth. Then you will see the real truth.
You will know hypocrite. some of them your own brethren, sir. It was Joseph's brothers that sold him in. You know, I tell people, you know, that biology don't connect people, you know, in terms of, you know, are your brother or your sister. That's not what connects people. Because David says, if it was my enemy, then I could have deal with it. But it was one of my own brethren. That's when it becomes very painful.
Hypocrite everywhere, man.
Final thoughts, Emmanuel.
Hypocrite there everywhere, not only at church. Yes. Hypocrite there at supermarket, hypocrite there at library, hypocrite there at school, hypocrite there all over the place. But people not stop go those places because hypocrite did it. They only stop go church because hypocrite did it.
Very good. What a wonderful session we've had here.
I tell you.
Yes.
Big up yourself, neighbor. I listen all the time.
Big up yourself, neighbor. Big up yourself, man. You know, I always know you have it in you, you know. I know you always have it in you, neighbor. Nobody feel like.
No.
I know you always have it in you. I don't believe, say I don't know. You know,
okay.
My spirit always lead me to figure people out, and I know you had it in you. And this is a good session, but I'll tell you something. And I leave my last thought is to people though. Get close to God. That is my last thought to everybody. Get close to God. You know, you will never be wrong. Yeah, man.
Well, you know, sir. What I find wonderful tonight is that you guys are so passionate about your politics, but here are you, you know, showing another side of your
neighbor.
Yes.
Remember, you highlighted earlier that the commandment says that we are to love our neighbors like we love ourselves.
Yes.
I remember that the Jamaica Labour Party says me and the neighbor voting for Labour.
That is it.
Acknowledges the neighbor, which is why we are so passionate as well about the word.
You know,
they are related.
You know, neighbor, I say this to end. I have stopped lying a long time ago. Long time.
Stop what,
if
sir?
You can't beat me. I have stopped lying.
Lying?
A long time ago. Lying. Yeah. Talking what is not true.
Okay.
I have stopped that a long time ago.
Thank you.
When I come on this program, I talk what I see in front of me. So when I run into this debate with these people, they don't even understand my whole tranquility and build up. I don't need to lie. Yes, I always speak the truth. If it hurt or it not hurt, it is it. And I teach my children, speak the truth and it will set you free. So when I come here and I debate and I hear people talking, what I'm talking is in front of me, neighbor. It is there. It's not in the spirit. It is right in front of you. In the news, in the paper, a building standing in front of you. It is the truth. And we don't need to try to go around people. When you're talking the truth, it is truth. So the people can put spin on everything. But if this is the truth, it is truth. It's not my truth. It is truth that is there.
Well, sir, yeah. I feel the same. And that is why I'm saying that you can't come up here and I don't see something. If Mr. Golden does something and it is true, I'm going to tell you that it is true. Can't lie. Anyway.
It is fact. Have a good one.
Take good care.
Neighbor.
All right, listeners.
That was nice.
The Jamaican girl, me afraid to be you too, you know.
Thank you.
Nice.
Bye-bye,
Keep
everybody.
close to God, Jamaica girl. Keep close to God. Keep
Look at
that's it.
preaching.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Keep close to God, man.
Bye bye.
All right. Good night.
Where heartaches are meant for behind us, and burdens are carried no more. Come morning, I walk by the river. How rest the evergreen tree. So I'll carry my cross through the midnight, and come morning, there's glory for me.
Why Jamaica girl? They're not going anywhere. Baptize them. Why our listeners stay with us to the very end. If we don't lock down the show, they don't leave, you know. The fantastic people them. Yeah, they're fine. But it's nice that we are reaching people.
Yes.
And that is what is important. That people like what we do. Yeah?
Yes.
People are liking what we
Challenging the minds.
Eh?
Challenging the minds and
We are making an impact. And that's great.
Certainly.
All right. Katie Bless, or you like the reasoning tonight, eh? Miss K.
Come morning, I'll walk by the river. I'll rest the evergreen tree. So I'll carry my cross through the midnight, and come morning, there's glory for me. Come morning, I'll walk by the river. Are you looking forward to it tonight? I'll rest the evergreen tree. So I'll carry my cross through the midnight, and come morning, there's glory for me. Oh, come morning, I'll walk by the river. I'll rest the evergreen tree. So I'll carry my cross through the midnight, and come morning, there's glory for me. Come morning, I'll walk by the river.
Darling. So darling, I don't say again.
Oh, darling, we were talking about a while ago.